Suppose there was a place where you could get faucets and fixtures, lumber and lawnmowers, fireplaces and fertilizer. Suppose there was one place where you could get anything you need for your home.
Is just walk through your house and take a look at all the components that make up the house.
In 1955, there wasn't such a place, so Don Kole created one out of a lumber store on Bay Street. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. Hold that thought for a second. Don was born to B. and Abe Kowalski in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The family business was shoes, and Don took to selling like a fish to water.
During the Second World War, I was selling shoes at the age of 12. This is me right there. I was in college.
Boston University brought a degree in business and helped him develop a mathematical thought process for which he is still highly regarded.
And he's extremely capable. Don's very disciplined in his thinking.
There's a logical approach that you've got to learn that builds one step to the next step to the next step.
When he gets up to say something, you better listen.
It was the Army that brought Don Kole south.
I thought when I got to Camp Gordon, I had reached the ends of the earth.
To a place that didn't really fit the sensibilities of the boy from Bridgeport.
It was hot, it was humid, segregation was everywhere.
But from Augusta, he discovered Tybee.
He would sit on the beach and build pyramids out of the empty beer cans.
And the wild card in his southern exposure.
And one day, this cute little lady came walking by.
That cute little lady had a formidable mama, and Don's Boston-bred career path took an unexpected turn.
I asked Kay's mother, and she said, we'd be glad to have you as a son-in-law, but you're going to stay and live in Savannah.
And that took Don to the knee of Kay's dad, Sam Robinson.
Sleepy little Lathrop Avenue or Bay Street or somewhere over there, lumber company that mainly sold to builders.
Don and his business partner, Paul Robinson, had an idea.
We had between 30 and 40,000 items to sell.
Build-A-Rama, they called it, a catchy name for an idea that really had legs.
But we were really the first home center chain in Georgia or South Carolina.
It really was very, very innovative what they did in the business.
For 34 years, Build-A-Rama prospered.
13 stores in Savannah and Charleston and Augusta and Columbia, South Carolina.
And perhaps inspired imitation. You see, Home Depot co-founder Arthur Blank lived in Savannah for a while.
He met with Arthur Blank, who had worked in Savannah.
I was very astute, and I decided these guys aren't going to make it.
Now, before you start parsing the what could have beens of the Build-A-Rama potential, realize two important things. First,
Dad's always, of course, been about family business.
And second,
I got a call from Arthur Blank. Hey, Don, I hate to tell you this, but Home Depot is coming into Savannah, and we're going to be right next door to your store on Abercorn Street. And I said, Arthur, I'm glad to tell you that I've just sold the company.
Build-A-Rama sold at the very top of the market.
Timing was perfect for Don, and I think he saw a great opportunity and took advantage of that.
And he saw that they had irresistible force on their part.
And with that, Don and Kay Kole stepped into retirement.
For about 2 weeks, and realized that 2 weeks of playing golf and being a honey-doer was more than I could handle.
For the next phase of his life, Mr. Kole chose real estate management.
Don started looking into getting into the apartment business, and I believe I made him the first loan to get into Alhambra Apartments over on Victory Drive, and that was the beginning of his apartment rental business. And he's certainly one of the larger owners of multifamily housing and apartments in this area now.
Kole Management brought the Build-A-Rama insistence on quality to the city's real estate business, but with an even greater sense of community responsibility.
We always think of the historic district maybe as the Bull Street corridor, maybe the Abercorn, or maybe even the Barnard Street corridor. But if you go in the extreme southeastern quadrant of the historic district, there are a number of old houses that Don just had this vision and passion for, and he went in and he restored them. And those were decaying neighborhoods or decayed neighborhoods, and because of Don's vision, because of his willingness to put his money where his mouth is, we've got neighborhoods and we've got people living together and getting to know one another.
From developing housing to developing downtown, Mr. Kole's expertise landed him on the original board of the Savannah Development and Renewal Authority. If you look around our flourishing downtown today, you see the hand of Don Kole.
We spent an awful lot of time working on Broughton Street, and so I know Don was a big supporter of downtown redevelopment, and a lot of what we did then is the result of where Broughton Street is today. You know, in those days, there were no franchises whatsoever, and I think Starbucks and Gap and Banana Republic, some of those coming onto Broughton Street just helped really change the face of it.
The face of Georgia Historical changed as well when Don discerned the talents of one Dr. Todd Gross, who he recruited as executive director.
And it was going to take a little bit more than X to get Todd. And I can remember a discussion that Don and I had about compensation and the fact that you sort of in life get what you pay for. And if you're going to get the very, very best, sometimes you have to pay up for it.
Together with the board, they changed the nature of the Historical Society to indeed be Georgia's.
Well, I think one of the greatest things that Don Kole has done in terms of being a leader was the vision to see that the Georgia Historical Society could be truly a Georgia Historical Society. He was one of those on the board who led the effort to create a true statewide institution.
There's one of my favorite pieces of art.
In his leisure, Don developed a passion for exotic art and exotic places, both of which feed an open and growing mind.
And he's very interested in other cultures. He's very interested in people who may think differently than him, and I just think he finds it fascinating.
Travel is one of the greatest ways to help break down one's narrow-mindedness, prejudices. You see the whole world and yourself in a different way.
It tells you a little bit about Don in that he's very multicultural. He's interested in the cultures of many different groups of people from different parts of the world. And that sort of tells you again a little bit about how broadly he thinks.
But as wonderful as his globe-trotting is, it can't compare to coming home.
Every time we go away, whether it's for a week or 6 weeks, the best thing we love is just coming back to Savannah. As soon as we get back, we say, oh, this is so, of all the places in the world, there's no place we'd rather be than Savannah.
With his grandchildren starring on stage, his daughter and her family a few hours away, and his son at his side as business partner, it's assured that Savannah is Don's home and heart now, in spite of what he says.
But I'm still that Yankee from Connecticut.
And we have it from no less an authority than Aaron Levy, that his life in Savannah has been exemplary, even if he is a non-native.
If you can, as a parent, see your children and even see through to your grandchildren being successful in whatever they do, then that's something a life well lived and one that they can be proud of.
Proud and successful and generous. But more important than any of those is the fact that Don Kole, by his own admission, is a pretty sharp guy.
I was very smart. And I married Kay Robinson, who became K. Robinson Kole.
Don Kole is a laureate in the Junior Achievement Savannah Business Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Don Kole.
I wasn't going to run for office, but I think tonight I'm going to announce. My announcement is I'm not going to run for office. The honor of being nominated for the Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame is one I accept with great gratitude. It's a humbling experience to reflect upon one's life and on the many reasons I am here tonight. I certainly did not know some 50 years ago the effect of marrying into the Robinson family, and what a great influence my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Kate and Sam Robinson, would exert on me. for they were wonderful, unselfish leaders in the community, and my being their son-in-law caused me to see how to lead a fulfilling life. And my wife of 57 years plus was willing to allow me to give time to the community. My children, Debbie and Jeff, are my joys, and yet I was away from them more than I should have been, and that is a regret I will always have. I had the good fortune to have a father-in-law who taught me much about the ways of Savannah. As has been said, I was a Yankee and didn't know some of the ways of the South. But he guided me, and his knowledge imparted to me an advanced degree in useful business practices. I owe much to my brother-in-law, Paul Robinson, for letting me share my time with outside activities while operating the Build-A-Rama stores. Jewish community organizations, Union Mission, Hospice Savannah, the Georgia Historical Society, and many other organizations gave me an opportunity to grow, to expand my horizon, to fulfill my ambitions, to assist in making Savannah and Chatham County a better place for all. My philosophy will always be that whatever I give in time and money will be a great thank you with gratitude for my family's business success. The many people I have been associated with personally and professionally, the wonderful people who work for the Koles at Build-A-Rama and Kole Management Company, have enriched every aspect of my life. My two children, daughter Debbie Shelton and son Jeff, who will be up here someday, I predict, receiving junior achievement accolades, has sometimes caused small heartburn, but always joy and love in our relationship. That's enough. My daughter-in-law Leanne and son-in-law Charles Shelton have been warm and accepting of all my foibles. And best of all, 4 grandchildren, talented and smart, keep me on my toes and up to date in the ways of the 21st century. But the real secret of my being up here tonight is my wife, Kay, who has put up with my enthusiasms, my misjudgments, my sometimes erratic behavior with love and understanding. She tries to keep me down to earth when I become stratospheric. It is with a grateful heart that I accept this honor, for those who have come before me have all been major contributors to the betterment of our community. And the accomplishments of junior achievement in educating young people to become productive, clear-thinking students and later in life responsible citizens is evident to all of us. Junior achievement has shown the way, and so I thank junior achievement for this reflection on my life. And as I go forth, I shall strive to continue to show my gratitude by continuing to make my home, my hometown, my community a better place. And thank you all.